Come on, guys. Come explore this great national park with me, and if we preserve it, we all can enjoy it. Hey guys, as you see here, there are trail regulations that are implemented for the safety of not only humans, but also nature.
At most national parks, we have maps, so then visitors can see where the trail is and it can improve accessibility for everyone. As you can see, we're right here getting ready to kill this trail.
Are you kidding me? People leaving their trash everywhere. That's why we have trash cans on the trail, to keep the littering at a minimum.
From the beginning of the trail, we noticed tons of ways South Table National Park works to encourage accessibility for visitors. By providing maps for visitors and regulations to keep everyone safe, South Table takes into consideration all of the needs of the tourists. Also, in order to preserve the park, South Table has trash cans on the trail so visitors can discard their garbage without littering and harming the beautiful national park that many visitors enjoy all year round.
What do you have to say about that dog shit somebody left?
See, this is what we don't need in our national parks. People leaving trash behind. Unacceptable. Ouch, my knee. Probably should have stayed on the trail.
Rules and regulations at national parks do limit the accessibility for visitors. However, these rules are in place to keep hikers safe. Staying on the trail protects the hikers from getting in bad situations, it protects the animals from being threatened and scared in their own homes, and it protects the land from getting overused by too many people walking on it. Rules are in place to preserve all national parks, so future generations can enjoy the nature that we get to see here in the beautiful land at South Table.
If you go off trail, it's kind of dangerous. There's falling rocks.
If we work as a cohesive unit, we can preserve nature and live in it as a community, as seen.
Oh no, which way do we go? Good thing that the national park gave out these maps to help with accessibility around the park. Dude, what are you doing?
The National Parks of America demonstrate a strong commitment to the preservation of nature. The National Park Service is dedicated to protecting and conserving the natural environment and wildlife of national parks. They do this through limiting visitors per day, keeping guests in certain areas, and limiting commercialization of parks.
Hey guys, this right here is a prime example of some rules we just gotta follow to respect the trail and the nature so everyone can enjoy it. I mean, if you go past that, like, you never know what's gonna hurt you. That's pretty dangerous. Got some loose rocks, like, and you know, you can always get that minimum fine over here. That's not good. And they have this habitat closed for restoration, so more animals the benefits of South Table National Park, just like all of us visitors. Wow, nature's so cool. I learned so much from my geology classes here. You can see that this rock is igneous because it's got the little holes from where the air was in the volcano. And then up there, we got some more igneous rock because that's how this cool national park was made. Isn't it beautiful? National parks have to try to conserve what they can, but even in national parks, we can see the human interaction all over the place because we still have to be able to function as a society and get power through the parks.
Second time. This is how we trash our national parks, leaving trash that can hurt our environment and our animals out.
From our time at South Table National Park, Trent and I learned about the many ways that the National Park Service has been working to preserve national parks while still making the parks accessible to visitors. There's a fine line when it comes to keeping a balance between preserving the parks and keeping them accessible to the public. If we all do our part in keeping these parks beautiful, we will be able to enjoy them for many years to come. You can minimize your impact on the parks by choosing to stay on designated trails, respecting closures, leaving plants in place, and disposing of trash properly. Following these tips from the National Park Service will help you to protect wildlife habitats and yourself.
Alongside the conservation work, the National Park Service has been pursuing its preservationist mission by managing its lands primarily to accommodate visitors for more than 50 years. The parks have been preserved for the enjoyment of the public, so the park services are committed to making the parks easily reached and used by all people. Paved trails, lodges, roads, and bathrooms have transformed national parks from natural sanctuaries to popular tourist attractions. When the parks were created, the intent was to protect nature for the enjoyment of future generations, but at what cost? By making the parks more accessible, some nature pays a price. The roads in the parks cut off animals from each other. Wild animals have become desensitized to the public, leading to dangerous animal tourist encounters, which can lead to deadly results at the expense of humans and, in some cases, the animals.
The delicate dance of where to draw the line between preserving the parks and limiting the human impact and making the parks accessible to all at the expense of nature has been a conflict for decades. Even though the park is governmentally funded, the more revenue they produce through tourism, the more the parks can give back to preserving the nature found within them. By giving a little and paving more roads to make the parks a popular attraction, the Park Services can hire more top-notch scientists who are able to study the animals, plants, and lands of the national parks. These scientists monitor and track the populations around the parks to guarantee that the effects of tourism don't destroy the beauty found within the parks.
The oldest national park, Yellowstone, can be used as a great example of the conflict that has been found in the National Park Service for the past 150 years. Our professional contact, Brian, talked about how throughout the past 150 years of Yellowstone, the wolf population has fluctuated. The wolves were hunting and eating more desirable animals such as elk and livestock of local ranchers. The Park Service let people come into Yellowstone in efforts to control the wolf population. This is an example of accessibility and preservation work. The service wanted to preserve other animals even if it was at the expense of the wolf population. The parks made it accessible for hunters to come on the national park land and hunt wolves in efforts to control the natural found in the park. After all the wolves native to Yellowstone were killed, the bison and elk numbers skyrocketed. The Park Service thought it was protecting the animals, but by eliminating the predators, the population of elk exploded, which put strain on the land.
From this project, we learned that if we all work together and are collective in our effort to preserve national parks, this will not only allow for these parks to be around longer, but it will create a better environment for the animals and the people that love to enjoy the beautiful outdoors. By visiting South Table And learning about Yellowstone and other national parks, we were able to learn about the conflict between preservation and accessibility in national parks.